Mr. Chairman, this is Teresa. Staff is live on Facebook, and we're ready to begin when you are.
Okay, thank you very much. Would like to call to order this meeting of the Town of Hilton Head Parks and Recreation Commission. And if you would please, first off, join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We'll get started with the meeting, and the first is to ask Marcy if we're in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act.
Yes, sir, we are.
Okay. I see a blurry Marcy on my screen. All right, so let's have a call the roll, please, Marcy.
Mr. Okarma?
Here.
Mr. Daly? Mr. Monmonier?
Here.
Mr. Zarilla?
Here.
Mr. Dowling?
Here.
Miss Christian?
Here.
And Mr. Kasaya?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so next on the agenda would be the approval of the minutes of the March 3rd meeting, and the chair would entertain a motion to approve those minutes of the March 3rd meeting.
I would like to make a motion, Joe Monmonier, to approve the
I'll
minutes.
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Thank you. Is there any discussion about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor. Well, no, we got to do the roll call. I keep doing that. So,
Yes, sir.
Marcy, if you'll call the roll again.
Thank you. Mr. Okarma?
Yes.
Mr. Monmonier?
Yes.
Mr. Zarilla?
Yes.
Mr. Dowling?
Yes.
Miss Christian?
Yes.
And Mr. Kasaya?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So let's see. The next is citizen comments. And Marcy, I believe you have a statement to read.
Yes, I do, sir. Public comments concerning agenda items were to be submitted electronically via the town's open call portal. Public comment period closed at 1:30 p.m. today, and there was one public comment. Citizens were also provided the opportunity to sign up for public comment participation by phone during the meeting, and there were no requests from citizens to speak on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy. So we had one comment that was sent in. Do we need to hear that, or did everybody get a chance to read the comment that was sent in?
Sir,
I think
I did.
first time we've ever had a comment, so I'm not really sure how to handle it.
I believe that will be addressed during one of the updates later on in the meeting.
That sounds good to me. I thought it might be. So, okay. All right. Let's move on to reports and Frank Sewell with Island Rec. How you doing, Frank? You're up to bat. I can see him. I can't hear him.
I can't hear.
Frank, we can't hear you.
I can see Frank. Can you hear us, Frank? The joys of technology. Well,
Can we go move on and come back to Frank when you get the sound going?
yeah, I think that's a good idea. Frank, we're going to come back to you, okay? All right, let's move on then to Jennifer Ray with the Parks and Recreation Master Plan update. Jennifer, you there? There she is.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So staff issued 2 RFQs in March, one for design services for Parks and Recreation improvements. That's the one that focuses initially on Chaplin Community Park and Crossings Park, and will allow us to add other improvements along the way as a scope amendment if desired. The second one was for the Mid-Island Initiative area, which is a redevelopment strategy for that larger area, as well as design for the new park at the Mid-Island track. So both of those were issued in late March. They are both due at the end of April, April 29th. We are requiring collaboration between the 2 teams. If we select 2 separate teams for that, they will be required at an early phase of the project to collaborate to make sure that the program elements are all being accommodated within the plans for the 3 parks. Because if you remember the program that you all looked at, that the community helped us build, was based on looking at all 3 parks at the same time. So I think that gets at part of that question is, how is Mid-Island going first? Well, they're really going to be working on them at the same time. The thought is that the timing is that Mid-Island would be the first under construction, and that will be officially determined by town council at a later date. But that's the direction that they have been leaning in the workshops that we have had with them. So we've issued it as 2 separate RFQs. They're running together through the process. We will open them both up on the 29th and then evaluate and select our consultants. We have had very good interest so far. We've had over 40 firms download from our procurement portal the packet, and I had over 15 participate in each of the pre-submittal conferences. We had a voluntary conference on Monday for the one for Chaplin and Crossings, and one on Tuesday for the Mid-Island. And nobody asked any questions, but they at least listened, and staff was able to explain what's in the RFQ to make sure that it was really clear. So we've gotten, in my opinion, very good interest. We'll see how many responses we actually get out of that. Even if we got half, I would say, well, even if we got a quarter, I would say it would be a really good turnout, but half would be pretty tremendous and a big task ahead then to evaluate and select a team. We will probably at your May meeting, because the timing will be right, that we'll know at that point how many we have opened, how, what the magnitude of the response is, and be able to give you an update better there. Once we have someone under contract, we'll be able to start working on that initial kickoff meeting, and the Parks and Rec Commission obviously will be very integral throughout both processes as we move forward. So that's the update. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have at this time.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
If it's okay, we'll go down the list, and if you have any questions for Jennifer, you can state them, and we'll just go down the list like we do with a roll call. So, Marcy, if you could call the names out, that'd be great.
Sure. Mr. Okarma?
No, I don't have any additional questions. I appreciate the update, and you've anticipated the questions that I was going to have. So thank you very much, Marcy.
Mr. Monmonier?
No questions. Yes, again, thank you, Ms. Ray, for your information today.
You're welcome.
Mr. Zarilla?
No questions. Fine job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Dowling?
No questions. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
Ms. Christian?
No questions, thanks.
Thank you.
And Mr. Kasaya?
Thank you. The only thing I would say is, one, great job by staff in frankly leading the discussion to get all 3 parks looked at. The town council had their workshop about Parks and Recreation, I don't know, about a month ago, I guess now, and discussed a lot of these issues. at that point, I think looked at really going to the Mid-Island track, and I think that that's a good idea. I made that point to the council at my presentation to them a couple of weeks ago. But I think it's a great idea. Obviously, the Mid-Island track is the big issue here. It's new. And we need to do a really good job determining what exactly is going to be the best fit for that park. And then we look at the needs that we have as identified in the master plan, and we look at how we can fit those into either the Mid-Island track or in the other two parks. So I congratulate staff and congratulate the council on their discussion, and say thank you. I think they're doing a great job.
Thank you. And something you said, Mr. Chairman, that kind of prompted another thought is that there is a possibility that there are recommendations that don't end up fitting at any of those three parks. And so that's why we added for the one for Chaplin and Crossings, it's actually called Design Services for Parks and Recreation Improvements. So if needed, we can go back and say, soccer and lacrosse isn't going to fit at any of these three. Let's look at another town-owned park property or land acquisition or whatnot to accomplish it. So it might not all happen within those three. That's why we're going to validate the program with the design team and then potentially have to come back to y'all and to town council to look at other properties if there are needs that can't be accommodated, within those three. So I think we're covering our bases, if you will,
Right.
to keep with the sports theme. We're covering all of our bases, and we'll just see how it shakes out as that consultant gets involved, and we will continue to provide updates to the commission along the way and the community as well.
Thank you, Jennifer. I think that's exactly the way it should go. For example, the Mid-Island track has some very unique environmental factors that need to be considered as we look at how we're going to be developing all of these tracks, but especially that one. And it may not be appropriate, but there are needs that we have. So having the flexibility to go look at other places, I think is a great idea. So thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
At this time, I'm going to try to go back to Frank Sewell. Is Frank there? Hey, Frank, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you great. So, Frank, if you will go ahead and give us an update from Island Rec, that'd be great. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good seeing everybody, too. Just want to let you know it's been January since I've had this opportunity, so may be a little longer than usual, but I certainly have a lot of great stuff to report on. But I'm going to jump right into summer. We've actually started registering for our summer camp, and we're almost full already. One thing that we learned from COVID is that maybe it'd be better if we took fewer kids and provided a better product. Instead of having 200 kids here a day, we're probably going to be down to 140 plus our challenge camp program, and it'll put less stress on the building, allow us, the whole interaction between adults using the fitness center and utilizing the building just made more sense, and we think that we're really excited about that. But already being full in camp is certainly something that hasn't happened in a lot of years. We kind of have a unique program. It's called Kids Night Out. We haven't done it since over last year. First time out, we had 27 kids. That's almost a record for all the years that we've been doing it. But it was pretty exciting to see families wanting to come back out again. Obviously, mom and dad must have scooted out for a dinner or a little night out on the town and came back and had picked up their children at the rec center. We're really excited about that. Speaking of fitness programs, we're going to continue to add back hours. We were at reduced hours, but as we continue to move forward with vaccinations and other things, we look forward to adding more hours. We've done our classes are full, which is pretty exciting. We have a lot of fitness classes that are full. But one thing that we've done is actually we've reached back out to Hilton Head Plantation and trying to have the property owners come back here. We had created a special offer to them, but we're also working with Indigo Run and Palmetto Hall. So we're kind of reaching back out to all the neighborhoods around us and to let them know that, hey, we're here. We have a clean, safe fitness facility that offers the unique opportunities to people in a short distance from where they live, especially here on the north end. Fencing, I have to keep talking about fencing because the fencing lady will put me in one of those fencing outfits and I don't want to go. So actually that program is taking off. We have 45, small children to adults that are doing fencing. And every Wednesday afternoon, there's a group of 10 ladies that come here and fence in one of our fitness rooms. So it's definitely a growing sport. It's like a unique thing. It's kind of like where pickleball was 20 years ago. Fencing now is now the new thing here at the rec center. We have had a new director at the senior center. Sherry Bronsky's joined us. She's been there now for a little over a month. Sherry came from Sun City, where she worked there as a fitness director. We're excited about having the opportunity to have Sherry here because she brings tons of experience working with seniors, but it was also some of the avenue that we wanted to pursue, getting the seniors at the senior center a little bit more involved here with fitness and other programs. So we were excited about having her expertise joining us on board to kind of achieve some of the things that we want to do with the senior center and move that along. They've had really good success with programs down there, fitness programs down there since we reopened, but we see some more card playing. One thing, we did a survey the other day, but gosh darn it, they want to go on trips again. So it's kind of interesting how they want to get back out there. And I believe by September, you'll see us do more trips and some other things as we move forward in opening. Youth sports this year, we're back up to 500 kids in soccer this spring, which is traditional what we had. That's what we had last year before we shut down. So we're pretty excited about that. I wish Commissioner Daly was here today. I just wanted to give him an update on Gator Football. Our league has a first meeting next Monday, and we'll be providing a youth football program through the Gator program here this fall. On top of that, for all of you who were on the commission when Fred Lowry was here, Fred had an opportunity to go be the director in Marlborough County, but he has elected. I reached out to him and poached him back. And so we were looking to have Fred come back to join us. I'm very excited about that, not only of his experience in football, but tapping into some of the experiences that he's gained in Marlborough to bring him back here. E-gaming, I know I spoke about that before. E-gaming is one of the new programs that we're looking at, and he will be leading that too. So we're excited about having the opportunity to have Fred back. I think it's the fourth time he's come back here to work for us, but we're excited because of what he can bring to us, and especially in management of programs that we've had. Talk a little bit about the pool. Lap swimming is busy. After the ladies, water aerobics ladies are out, we're having anywhere from 12 to 16 people. We have going there and they're sharing lanes for lap swimming. And that's mostly throughout the day until about 2 o'clock. And then the swim team comes in. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Mike Lane, the swim team coach, was also named Coach of the Year. And one of the sections that we're in for USA Swimming. So that was pretty exciting. That's not the second time he's got that, but that just speaks to the volume of the number of kids that we have swimming in our program and people taking advantage of the pool and having what we have going on here. Our spring swim lessons were full. This time of year would have been traditionally the time of year that we take down the dome. And not having that couple weeks off, we were able to start swim lessons a little earlier. Obviously, we've kept the water up to temperature for a while, since throughout the winter time. And we kind of lucked out. I think we had somewhat of a mild winter. We had a rainy spell, but believe it or not, the pool was full every day during the rainy spell in February. So I want to talk a little bit about events because we've had most of our special events or community events since I've spoken to you last time. We had Snow Day, which went off very well. Probably had about 1,000 people there. We were able to spread everybody out. We did some new things with the snowfield that kept people socially distanced. And it really worked out really well. And we were very pleased with the outcome of that. And it kind of gave us more opportunity to rethink how we do events and how we're going to move forward. We also had a daddy-daughter dance that went very well. We had 2 sessions with that. That went very well. Both sessions were almost full, and we were excited about that. That was a program that got canceled from last year, and we were able to bring that back. We also had the Lowcountry Oyster Roast, which was at the end of February down at Shelter Cove. We had about 350 people there. It was a beautiful night. I mean, it was awesome. And if it's the first time that anybody had been to the park, I'm always talking to people that come and attend. But a lot of people that were here vacationing that came to the park that night. But we had some residents new to our community that came first time there. It was a beautiful sunset, and it was an awesome night. I don't know what else to say. It was just awesome to be out there watching the sunset, having a good time. We had it decorated nicely, and we had a really good day. So. Apologize for that. And then we had Easter egg. We had an Easter egg handout. Traditionally, we usually do the Easter egg extravaganza at Shelter Cove Park. Bounce houses, Easter egg hunts, and other things. We elected not to do that. But what we did is we actually went down to Lowcountry Celebration Park and Shelter Cove Park and handed out bags of Easter eggs and other things, little goodies to the kids. We had 300 and 400 bags, 200 each park. We were done in 20 minutes. I mean, that speaks 2 things. One is that there's a lot of people on the island, but a lot of people really enjoy what we've done and how to do that. And I tell you one thing, I've been down to the new Lowcountry Celebration Park, and that park was busy at 9 o'clock when we started setting up, 9 o'clock in the morning that day. So it's a really neat park, and it's certainly a destination park for a lot of not only visitors, but residents here too. Finally, one thing that we've been told, we're beginning the planning is summer jams. I'm hoping, I'm knocking on wood over here, that the fireworks will be back, but they told us to start beginning planning to have our Tuesday night event. And hopefully that's kind of exciting to have, and bringing that back. As you all know from this week, our community's loaded with visitors in the last week too, so it's pretty exciting that we're going to be planning some of these extracurricular activities for people that come here and visit us throughout the summer. Finally, we're going to offer an open house on May 27th and send out some invitations to you all, really kind of letting people know what we have for our facilities, fitness facilities, talking about our summer programs. Unfortunately, we won't be registering for summer camp like I thought we would be. But for the most part, we're going to let people know what's going on, swim lessons and other camps that we have going on throughout the summer. We have a variety of different camps this summer, from basketball to lacrosse to karate, fencing. So we're going to offer a lot of activities and get back up and rolling. That's it for me. Questions?
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
So let's go down the list again, Marcy, and see if anybody's got questions or comments for Frank.
Sure. Mr. Okarma?
No, I don't have.
Mr.
I don't. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have any questions for Frank. It's amazing when he goes down the list of all the things that have happened just in the last, month or two here. It's quite a testament to everything that the organization is doing, for sure. And I agree with the Lowcountry Celebration Park. That thing is absolutely awesome. That's going to be a place where not only neighbors here are going to enjoy, but certainly the visitors as well. But that's all for me.
Mr. Monmonier?
No real comments. Just say, thanks, Frank, for all you do for our community, and keep going with the Island Rec Center activities. Hopefully, you open up Wingfest and all those big festivals as the fall moves on, because I know you use those as fundraisers to finance all your great programs.
Mr. Zarilla?
Just one question, Frank. With the kids camp in the summer, I'm just Could you expand on why you're cutting back from 200 to 140? Is it resources, facilities? Because I think you're going to have 60 disappointed kids out there
Yeah,
and
yeah,
120 disappointed parents, I guess.
yeah. Well, we've let the parents know well in advance. The reason, some of it's really not the resources, it's more or less the facility. And we found last year when we had fewer kids, our facility operated better, and we were able to provide the parents and the kids in the program a better program. And we felt that it's more important for us to provide a better program and keep the facility well managed than having lots of kids be here in the facility that we couldn't manage at the level that we felt that we need to do. Now, we are bringing back the challenge camp, which is for special needs children, so that will add some additional kids to the program. But we've let people know well in advance that this is it. And I would tell you, when you talk about resources is really not the dollars and cents of things. It's finding finding people to work. And then I see, Chrissy's shaking her head. We have people to work this summer, but it was a challenge. And we began that back in November and working toward the summer. And so I think that's the resource that we're kind of struggling with, is the human resource of finding people to work in camps and do those type of things. That's what we're finding issues.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can understand. And good luck with that, and compliments once again on what you all do. It really is amazing. Very nice.
Thank you.
Mr. Dowling?
One of the things Frank didn't mention, which I coach in, I thought was great, was the basketball season. And it seemed like in the age group that my kid was in that I coached, there were more kids than usual. I thought it went great.
Yeah, and I failed to mention another thing too. Not only did we have 300 kids back in basketball, which was over what we had the previous year because we were able to run basketball, but we have a volleyball camp going on right outside the door here, and we have over 78 girls in it. Last year we had 42. And so the volleyball program is growing tremendously too. So not only am I guilty on the basketball, but I'm also guilty of not talking about girls volleyball. But we had a good winter. So thanks
And
for
I will
coaching.
say, Jesse runs a great program. He does a good job, very good job.
And we had a little flag football program that we had 30 kids in last year before COVID, and this year we had 75. I think flag football is going to be the way to go anyway. I mean, for any of us that read, or watch TV, eventually someday flag football is going to be the way to go until middle school. I've been saying that for 5 years around here. Of course, being in the South, saying tackle football for kids, young kids, I get the cross-eyed look. Coach Montignier is smiling at me about that.
Miss Christian?
Frank, when did you say the open house was going to be?
It's going to be on the 27th
Of April?
of May.
Okay, May. Do you have times?
I think it's 4 to 6. It may be 3 to 6.
Okay.
I'm going to get some more information out on it. We're going to have
Okay.
a big media splash, but I'll make sure the commission's emailed.
Yeah, let us know and we'll help push it out to Hilton Plantation.
Thank you.
I thought all of your activities that you've done, I mean, it's amazing that you offer such a diverse schedule of activities. And thank you, Frank and Leah, and all of your staff for just doing a tremendous job.
Thank you.
And Mr. Kasaya?
Frank, just a couple of things. One, congratulations to you and your staff being able to adapt those programs and activities to what we've had to go through this past year is really a feather in your cap. I did have one question. Are you looking at are you going to have tackle football again in the fall or just flag football?
No, we're going to do tackle. We're going to, the league that we play, that the Gators have played in for the last 15 or 20 years, has our first league meeting next Monday. Look forward to having Fred run the program. And then we're going to do tackle football for sure.
Okay. So, and my last question may be scary, actually, but a comment. But based on what you're saying, with the number of kids and the, I guess, use of the rec center, is it time maybe to start thinking about a new rec center, another rec center on the island?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I look forward to, as we talk with the consultants as they've come here in the master planning process, I look forward to, hearing what they have to say, being part of that. And I really think that there's places where we need to create, one thing, we need to create a partnership with the school. And although we have one, but maybe look at improving some of their existing fields, like adding a second turf field. I know that they're going to Joe, I'm speaking for you, but they're going to be turfing the high school field. And if we could work with them on turfing some of their existing practice fields they use for football and lacrosse, and having that opportunity and having those three fields in one area. I listened to what Jennifer said about maybe maybe these fields go in another location, and I would hope that we would consider the school as part of that process, is looking at that and creating a partnership there, because they have existing space and they have existing fields, and that's something that we should look at that. As far as another building goes, I think that if we start looking at another building, I think we need to grow more of a senior component. And as you know, we only have 3,000 square feet as a senior center. Obviously, with more people moving here and our demographics, we talk a little bit about our demographics, but I think that would be something to consider in one of the locations. If you look, I've been here forever, but the original master plan for the Crossings Park had a senior center in it. So Hopefully some of those, there's some of the things that actually have been already looked at that may need to be dusted off, and as we move forward, kind of how that all works together.
Okay. Well, I'm just thinking that it sometimes takes us a while to get off the dime to build a new facility, and maybe it's time to start thinking about that. So, all right. So thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Good seeing you. Good talking with everybody.
All right. We're going to move on then with our meeting, and we're going to talk. Marcy Benson, you have a community development block grant update on Patterson Park. Marcy?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Marcy Benson. I'm the Senior Grants Administrator for the town, and I will be giving a community development block grant update related to parks and recreation. At the end of February, the town received notification from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development that the town's 2021 CDBG allocation amount would be approximately $229,000. The CDBG program requires an annual action plan to be submitted to HUD outlining how the town plans to spend its annual allocation. On March 22nd, the Community Services and Public Safety Committee approved forwarding a recommendation to Town Council to select the Patterson Park as the 2021 Community Development Block Grant project for inclusion in the town's annual action plan. The Patterson Park project was originally included in the 2018 annual action plan, and it was designated to receive the remaining $118,000 in 2018 CDBG funds after the Boys and Girls Club Pavilion project was funded from that year's funding allocation. Including the Patterson Park project in the 2021 CDBG project as the annual action plan, it will allow the funding from 2021 to be paired with the 2018 funds, and that would give us approximately $347,000 for that park project. But not only is the Patterson Park project consistent with the 2018 annual action plan for CDBG funding, but it's also consistent with our plan. The project addresses several of the goals, strategies, and tactics from our plan, such as the Connected Core Value chapter. Also, there's sections of the Inclusion Core Value chapter that this project touches, as well as the Priority Investment section and the Parks and Recreation section of our plan. Staff has done some preliminary reviews of the site to determine what may be appropriate features to include in the park design. However, there have been no formal design plans prepared yet. And in order to meet HUD's requirement of a 30-day public comment period, the draft plan began to be open for public comment on March 23rd, and the comment period will close on April 22nd. The draft plan can be accessed via the town website, and there is comments that can be a submittal button for comments to be submitted through a link posted on the public notice. The draft of the plan indicates that approximately $5,000 of the allocation will be designated for program administrative costs. And those are for things such as publication costs that we need to have when we conduct public meetings or when we're doing the environmental review for the project. And that leaves approximately $342,000 to be used for the actual park project. In order to meet HUD's May 17th submittal deadline, approval of the final plan by resolution is scheduled for the May 4th Town Council meeting. And if the commissioners aren't quite familiar with the location of the Patterson Park, I'd like to share my screen for just a moment and pull up the town property map to show where the park is located.
Okay.
Can you see the map now?
See a pretty picture.
My picture, okay. This is my first.
Marcy, when you share your screen, you have to then scroll down and click on the file that you're wanting to show.
Pardon me. I thought I had it all set up. There we go. No. And there's still no map.
Yeah, your map is up.
Okay.
There it is.
Thank you. Sorry. There's a little learning curve. Let me zoom in, and it's on this map. It's labeled number 77. It's a green parcel here on the map, which is off of Marshland Road. If you're familiar with the traffic circle at Marshland and Matthews Drive, it's approximately here. And then if you were to go down Marshland Road, the property is across from the Alex Patterson Drive, and that would be the location of the Patterson Park project. So I'm going to...
From the map, it looks like it has maybe a water view.
Yes, there is, it is on water.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Marcy, and I might be slow today, but what exactly are we putting here? Is it just a, like,
It would be a
or it's
neighborhood park. It would be considered a neighborhood park, and just some preliminary review of the property from some of our staff to see what types of equipment or facilities might be included in the project, but there has been no definite design finalized.
And we'll definitely come back to the Parks and Rec Commission, work with the community, get approval and everything before we move forward. This first step is just securing some funding, and then we'll move forward with that and keep you in the loop.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I didn't. Thank you.
Now let's see if I can. There we go. Now you should see me instead of the map. Is that great? Are there any other questions? I'd be happy to answer. I can go through the roll if you'd like me to, Mr. Chairman.
I think that's the order of the day, so I guess we ought to do that. Yeah.
Great. Mr. Okarma?
No questions from me. Thanks for the update.
Mr. Monmonier?
No, you answered my question. Thank you so much.
Mr. Zarilla?
No questions. Thank you. I'm good.
Mr. Dowling?
No, thank you.
Ms. Christian?
No questions. Thank you.
And Mr. Kasaya?
No questions, but would like to say I've been very impressed with how staff has utilized the grant funds for park improvements and park work. For the folks that don't know, the Sailing and Rowing Center got a good chunk of money, and we were able to do several things there about a year ago, I guess.
Yes, sir.
And so I just want to say innovative thinking and congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. As we move on then, I don't believe we have any unfinished business, nor do we have any new business. I think we've had our park updates have gone on as we've been going through. So we'll go down to commissioner comments. Does anyone have any comments that they would like to make at this time? And we can go down the list again, Marcy. I guess that's the best way to do it.
Sure. Mr. Okarma?
Nothing other than happy pickleball month to everybody.
Let's celebrate.
Yeah.
Mr. Monmonier?
No new comments.
Mr. Zarilla?
No comments.
Mr. Dowling?
No comments.
Ms. Christian?
No comments.
And Mr. Kasaya?
Nothing other than to say it really is an exciting time for Parks and Recreation on Hilton Head Island, and I appreciate everyone's efforts. And we're still moving forward and looking forward to seeing what comes out of these RFQs. So with that, I think we're done, and so the meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you later.
See you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.